Alright guys, very important market recap here. We are about to find out if the market can do the unthinkable, and look, if we gap up to here and hold, the bears are done. It's over. Now, yesterday we took calls into close because this pattern was starting to be eerily familiar, and the setup and everything, it paid handsomely today. We actually bought the open on SPY right there, boom, rode it all day, scaled, bought the dip, beautiful. All right, so what does all of this mean? Well, it means that the gap down that we have, that's all we need, 0.5% to gap over this thing. It would be absolutely historical because you would have a gap and a gap, and we've skipped this spot. You would have a island gap on an island gap. I don't think that's ever happened. I can't remember that ever happening. I don't think that's ever happened. And if you hold here, I mean, look, the market's ready for euphoria and Santa rally. So, what do we need to happen to ensure that? Well, first of all, I mean, the trend was really strong today. Hold on, sorry here. Let's click this off. And that we don't need that either. But here, this oscillator, I mean, again, completely confirmed the pattern. Right here yesterday, bottomed out, that helped too. And the spots where these bottomed out. Yesterday we were looking for lower prices. Tomorrow we didn't know that it would be a news driven bogus thing, right? But look at that 4-hour hammer candle. That thing is so strong, it does not need to get retested. Now, anything can happen. This can be the biggest bull trap in the world. However, Nvidia is too big to fail at this point in time. In my opinion, I don't know what the earnings are gonna go. Again, I'm in the 150s from Monday's open. They're up like 85%, which is great here. Been quite the nice ride, and it's been, where's Monday's open? There we go, yeah. Been riding it up. Now, it's still, it spent some time in this range, as you can see. Now, here's the interesting thing. Yes, is it high up? Absolutely. No doubt about it. But when you look at this sack of shite and you look on the daily, that does not look overextended or anything. It's just been hanging out here. I mean, look at these weekly candles on SMH. I mean, what? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks. Had that Bank of Japan thing right there, and the September thing. It's been hanging out. So you look at that daily, would you short here, or would you want to start a swing, right? That's the type of thing I'm looking at here. It's like that whole sector has not been hot. I mean, we've been playing other stuff. This Speaking of, if you missed the discussion, the 400s, I was looking at them right there. I didn't take them. They were 900. They're at 5 grand right now, and that's 2 trading days. So you know, Avgo does not look awesome. Last time I've looked at Avgo after we painted this out and we had the head and shoulders, it saved the head and shoulders move, right? It faked it out and then it sold. So again, Avgo, if this earnings is bad, ooh, but it's got the same setup. Like, this whole sector could wake up. Implied move is around $9 to $10. So again, we got that going on. So back to SPY. That means that especially if we gap above and hold, it's all about this FOMC level, right? That's the big one. It's all about FOMC's level here. We've lost it. Can we recapture it? If we can recapture it and Nvidia's earnings is good, that's how you end up at my price target. Okay, that's how you end up from here to here. Okay? Capiche? So right now, after hours, we are looking pretty decent. Looks like it wants to compensate for not hitting high in the final hour in the morning. We'll see. I wouldn't want to gap down, but you want to gap up. It gets tricky if we're right in the middle of the gap, right? Because after all, that is the first test of the 1 hour 9 now, or 89. A lot of things can happen from here till there, but again, things that started moving into close. Meta, for once, I know Dom's in it. That was pretty. Are we out of the woods? Is it a done deal that we go that high? No, but we are set up for it. We're definitely set up for it if they want to do the crazy stuff. So keep that in mind. I mentioned it. We need to gap up in order to get a new GEX range. If we don't gap up, or if Nvidia's earnings are bad, you will see this low this week. Why? Because if Nvidia is bad and doesn't rip the market, there is no reason for the market to stay up here. Basically, we're battling this pre-market high up here, which is pretty much the top of the collar. The market's battling to blow that collar to absolute smithereens. Otherwise, it will find its way down to 543. That's the bottom of the collar. That's how big this catalyst tomorrow after hours is. So you need to position yourself accordingly, which means 90% cash and YOLOs. That's what I'm gonna do. And if it's good, again, TSM has room to run. Avgo has room to run. Same thing, if it's bad, these boys have plenty of downside. Okay, like if you want to be a bear here and this crazy move doesn't happen on Nvidia, easy. Okay, so that's, we either absolutely rip faces or all of these names are good for downside. Anything can happen here. I was dabbling with this today. I'll keep an eye on it. Tesla, obviously, keeping an eye on it. It's got some sick levels here. And again, inside daily candle stow waking up there. We are, I mean, you got to go back here. We're battling these levels here that used to be like hardcore resistance back in 22. Okay, is this stock gonna go to all-time high? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unless Beyond Meat's CEO is shooting up rockets and having Trump over, I would say it's pretty a safe bet. Then we got Target tomorrow. This has, after earnings, failed to take out that high. Would be great if this started chugging here. It's got plenty of room. So watching that very, very closely. With that said, the Namo has room to run. Okay. We also have the Vixpiration. Are they going to crush the VIX down to here, or are we going to do some other type of fuckery? It remains to be seen. Overall, I want a new GEX range. I want to gap up, relentless call buying today. And if we zoom out, it looks pretty decent with that double bottom right there. Same exact setup. Look. Double bottom, gap up and rip. Now obviously we're not going to get as big of a gap up if we catch it because there's no presidential election, but same premise. You need to gap over and create this absolute crazy no man's land zone here. That would be absolutely super cool. JPM, wait for Friday. Today I said early on, and it was pretty obvious to anyone trading it, or should have been. You'll see it on the 5 minute very, very well. That it marked the week's range yesterday. Otherwise you don't get this type of move, right? but he marked it. So even though pre-market it was under, when you look at where it opened, that was yesterday's low, and it's defending it. Okay, so at some point when the premiums get cheap, 2475s, same as last week. Okay, probably on Friday. Why? Because if these chips run on this NVIDIA on Friday, they're not gonna keep running, but they want to do something else with the money. That being said, all these ETFs are rolling out their options on this thing. Could get pretty spicy. We'll see what the market does with it here probably next week once they've decayed them a little bit, etc, etc, etc. But yeah, Coinbase, if it starts moving, great, and wants to catch up to Mr. Saylor, fine. I don't know if it will. So here's for instance one contract that I'm in, Friday's 589s. I kind of want to see if that contract can come up to this gap 122 and then see what I do with it. Now it should be able to do it. So as far as tomorrow, I did swing some 593s because that was the contract that I feel could hit 150 at open. So that's why I was loading it end of day in the 80s and 90s. Had a nice ripper also after hours. You can easily take out this high here, as you can see. Okay, and that's the idea when you try to catch that end of day move. With that said, guys, absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow. God bless.
Space Shuttle Atlantis. Mission to build, resupply, and research internet space station. Using our control begins its penultimate journey toward the International Space Station. Atlantis almost 2 miles in altitude, almost 6 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center already, traveling 500 miles an hour.
Welcome, I'm Mr. Moontrain, and this is the Moon Landing Trading Course. I'm coming at you from my garden in Hawaii. And first of all, I want to congratulate you on being here and doing something about your situation. Huge. Now listen up. This is not going to be a regular trading course, but that's why you're here. Am I right? Today, we're going to go over the 5 areas every trader needs to master and conquer in order to become successful and profitable.